Welcome to Natural Habitat Adventures, Daily Dose of Nature. Today's topic, On the Move with the Monsoon, Part 3, presented by NatHab Expedition Leader, Arpita Duda. I'm your host, Rob Mess. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Over to you, Arpita.
Thank you so much, Rob, and thank you so much to all the viewers who are here today to go on a trip with me in the monsoon, where I have visited this time. And so, if you have listened to the first two part, it is more about the northeastern side of India, which is another rainforest, a tropical rainforest. And now we would come down to the southern part of India. Before that, why I have chosen this place is because these places are included in the biogeographical region. That means it has like the diverse species, and there are a lot of endemism as well. And of course, being a rainforest and an herb enthusiast, I look for a lot of reptiles mostly, and monsoon is the best time to see them and to watch them, and their behavior go like wow when you see them in monsoon. So here we go. So yeah, there are a lot of in the Earth, or our planet has divided into different biome, which has a different area with a similar temperature, similar kind of habitat, and the species and how they're adapting and evolving with time. And I have chosen the rainforest, and which you will find very much similar to the other rainforests in the world. And especially what I'm going to talk about today is this northeastern side, which is the rainforest I have been to. And now I'm shifting to this area of the southern India, like the peninsular of India, on the western side, which is we known as the Western Ghat. So here it is. You can see the dark green mark. So that includes that they get almost, sometimes they get 400 like centimeter of rainfall. That's huge. And it's, the wettest place on the earth is out here, the state called Meghalaya, which is the place known as Monsoon, which is the world wettest place. And sometimes it's like WWE fighting that who is the champion, because almost the same amount of rain sometimes happen in this area as well. So yeah, while traveling to that peninsula part, there is a beautiful evolutionary history, which I think make all of the naturalists or the people who are nature enthusiasts to like a magnetic field where you can, which actually pulls you to those places. And it's because I have to go back almost 150 million years back, when India got separated from the Gondwana and then from the Pangaea, almost 70 million years back. And India started, after separating from the African plate, India started moving towards the north. We know that. But India actually moved quite rapidly than the general speed. Let me tell you that while India got separated, and because it has crossed many heat points, so that helped the Indian plate to move much faster. So generally, the plate moves almost 5 centimeter a year, and India actually covered 20 centimeter a year. So you can imagine almost 4 times faster than the usual movement of the plates. And due to this vigorous movement, a lot of changes, India has faced a lot of geographical changes because of volcanoes or movement, the formation of the mountain, the rivers, the cracks, a lot of things happened. And while on the go, it is said in the new theory that it kept on picking up a lot of animals which adapted, or with the evolution they are thriving here. And because it was attached with the African plates, also this area where my cursor is a little above from it, we have a lot of similar fossils which have been found in Africa as well. And this area got a lot of mountain because of this volcanic activity, and this whole geographical area has changed over the years. And maybe because of that, we have a lot of endemism in this part of the country. So, moving ahead with that, let me tell you that from here, to come from northeast, from the city, the Calcutta, it's also known as the city of joy, from where I belong. And from there, I flew to Bangalore, which is another metropolitan city situated in Karnataka. And this is how the Bangalore map looks like. But yeah, can't stay in the city for a long time. But to start with this is how the city looks like. And though it's beautiful, Bangalore temperature, weather remains always really good. But and Bangalore made it very special because you might be knowing, like I stayed with one of my friend there, and I met this fellow. We call him Good Guy. It's a very unusual name, and it's a Doberman. But trust me, his behavior was just like a lab, and he is a year old, and he doesn't understand that he is a Doberman. So I had really a good time with him. No grumpiness, but he always wants to play. So this is how I'm working, and this is how this this fellow is sleeping just right beside me. So actually, I had a really good time with him. And not less, then I met one of our two native expedition leader, Harsha and Payal. So that was an amazing time with them, because I think we only spoke about where the species are, this thing, where the new species have come up with, and all this. And so it was really fun, an amazing time with them. And this is Sufi. If you all notice, if anybody follows Harsha and Payal, you will see they do a walk with Sufi, and she is an incredible dog. And they go out for a walk in the morning and in the evening, and she knows that she is not supposed to bark whenever they are watching birds or some other like animals. So it just do a little sound like, and that means that she has noticed something. And we kind of run with her and got to see some beautiful species out there. So yeah, she's incredible, and we had a wonderful time. But it's time to say bye to them, because I need to rush to the forest to gather more species, which would be very new to my list, my life is. So here, when we talk about Western Ghats, I think that is like a water tower of Peninsular India. Almost there are as many as 58 rivers originates here, and these all are spring-fed rivers. So as we don't have the glacier out here, just like how we have it in the northeast, and here during monsoon, because of the river system and the mountains out here, also have like huge and numerous number of waterfalls originates and create only during the monsoon period. And after this, soon as the dry region come close, most of the waterfalls, you won't be able to see them anymore, apart from the bigger ones. And one of the waterfalls is the highest waterfall in the southern part is the Jog, which is near about 488 meter. And you see this greenhouse here, the tiny greenhouse. Thankfully, I got a chance to stay there. So you can imagine the place was so heavenly. And trust me, the roaring of the waterfalls. Actually, one of the waterfall named also Roarer because of the sound. It's a straight waterfall. It falls, and all throughout the night you can just hear them. I mean, it was amazing to see it. And Western Ghat is all about this green and lush green. It's no longer the same thing what I have said, that it looks like a Spielberg movie and it can take you back to Jurassic Park, exactly how we feel in northeastern side of India for the same reason. But with Northeast India has more diverse because it has the foothills of Himalayas and of course the Indo-Myanmar border, which is another very richly species rich area. But here in Western Ghat we have more endemism. Here it is. This is a place called Chimbra, and one of the highest peak in the part of Kerala, which is the southern part of Karnataka, which is the red one I have showed in the beginning. So here we have a place called Wayanad, and one of my friends stays there. He's a general manager of one of the beautiful resort out there. So I went to be with them. It was a long due to meet them, and I came to a place which is called CTH Art. It has a group of chain of resorts, but the most important is where it is located. It's in Wayanad, and you can imagine the greenery of this place. It's just beautiful. And here you see the balcony out here. So most of the time I used to sit here and work, and sometimes the cloud rolled in. It just crossed through me, and it was fun. But trust me, not a single day I have found that, or at least for 5 minutes, the rain stopped. It was not raining. I would say it was like pouring, it didn't stop. So it was all the time you're feeling that it was wet. And after a certain time, I was just telling to my friends that, come on, I'm a hopping person. I mean, I'm more into reptiles and amphibians. I need some sun to bask. But yeah, but okay, I didn't get that chance though. But over there, I have come across some incredible species out there, and you can see how it is pouring like all through. And this is the pathway through the forest. It's a reserve forest out there. So through the forest, if you walk through just up and down, I think, which is around 3-4 kilometers of walk, and you can get like incredible species over there. So this is a little glimpse, and this is how the forest path look like. It's always, and a lot of leeches though out there, but it's fine actually. So some blood donation happened though, but somehow I'm lucky that I don't get easily bitten by leech. And everywhere, that's the main thing I wanted to show you. This picture is that wherever you look, it's all like drenched forest and the dark green. It's not even the lighter green shade. It's a dark green shade everywhere. And from every places you feel like that you're listening to a lot of creatures, starting from the katydid, crickets, a lot of other other insects, cicadas, frogs. Sometimes we get to hear a few birds as well early in the morning, but because of the rain, they were even pretty quiet. And some langurs, which are endemic to this area. I'll come to that. So apart from that listening thing, it's very difficult to see through the forest. While walking in that area only, we have this kind of small, like not the waterfall type, but it's beautiful, like rivers and like small river system streams which are cascading on the waterfalls. And the first day I went there, I was just, even if I couldn't like, even if I wouldn't have seen some species, I think the whole scenario, the whole area was so soothing and so comforting to be there. But it cannot happen that you are in this kind of area and you see nothing, only the beauty of this place. So yes, I was started exploring that area, and while exploring I got a lot of creature here and here. So I'll come to you later that what exactly I was clicking the picture. This is me, and you can see I'm almost lost in this huge green surrounding. And here near the stream, one of the beautiful frog, which is called the dancing frog, I have spoken about it earlier, which is called Micrxylus saxicola. And okay, before I start with the species, let me tell you that because of the high mountains and a lot of rivulets and rivers, which is and in different elevation is there all through. So there are these species which are not only endemic to Western Ghat, but also endemic to that restricted region. It is not being found in any other areas of Western Ghat. So a lot of species are like that. So this one is a dancing frog, which is like they live near that stream. Imagine that fast flowing stream out there making a lot of noise and sitting on that rock. Even its croak, hardly the female could get to hear it. So it has found another technique. So here they flap their limbs and their the vocal sac, which is whitish in color. They just pump it so that they can see the white color, which is like a reflector. And they kind of flap their limbs and hands so to attract the female, because maybe because of that they're, even if they're like screaming or the calling be very loud, it's very difficult for the mate to listen to it. So yes, that's a beautiful dancing frog out here. And here while in that stream area, if you can find it out where what exactly I am looking at, should I give you some time? If you can find it, just you can write yes. Later we will talk about it. Who all can find the species out here? But let me show you. This is the one here. You see the oval shaped body and it's a long tail out here. So this is a tadpole of a wrinkled night frog, which is this one. So this has beautiful call. Let me tell you, it's more like there are many frogs actually, which has a very similar call. Like you will feel like the birds are calling at night. I mean, if you see the whistling bird or maybe the twittering bird, their call is more like that. If you can just Google to listen to some frog calls which similar to birds, you might get few, not in India, but in everywhere, mostly in the rainforest, they do call like that. The reason behind it, it's still unknown that why do they, is there like, do they mimic that call, or is that what they call, they have heard it, they try to like just call, just maybe to impress, maybe they like that call, only they know. I wish I could like scan their brain to know that. So here, and then in that stream area only, we got two beautiful damselfly, which is called the Nilgiri bamboo tail. This blue one, look at the beautiful color. Like, I'm a Italy fan for the football, so I always say like Forza Azzurre. And here is the Malabar Torrent dart. And they are, trust me, and when there would be sunshine, this black area, which is seems to be black right now because we were not under the sun, but when the sunshine falls on them, they actually shimmers different, purple, blue, and mauve colors over there. So yeah, they wait in the perch and wait for the prey to come or to get a better view of that area where they are perched. And here is another pool, or I would say a small water pond they have made, and nothing, is just on the rock, and you can see there are a lot of vegetation under this. And here, this is, I think, one of the place I liked the most, because every time I have been there, and there are some activities going on which you can actually like look throughout the whole time. And why is that so? Imagine in the same place, I got this beautiful green frog. I mean, generally we get to see all the cartoons or the animated frogs, how it looks like. They look more exactly like that. So this is called the Malabar gliding frog, or the Rhacosaurus malabaricus. So Malabar is the lower portion of the India. It's called mostly the Malabar area. So that's how it's got its name. And these are from the gliding frog. They glide, and how it does. So here, if you notice, there are so many folds in the skin of their feet. So they actually spread them, and they can actually glide from one leaf to another leaf. So that's how it got its name. And in that pond, I found few of them are, struggling to get the female or to approach the female out there. And these kind of frogs actually, during the mating season or during the monsoon, they will come together, and mostly on above any water hole, stagnant water hole. Maybe that's why they have chosen this place, because it's very easy and undisturbed area. So while looking at it the next that night, little late, maybe an hour, maybe a couple of hours later, I found that they could manage to climb on the female to that amplex posture or the position, and they were creating that, they were releasing that jelly thing, and with the feet they kept on rubbing it very vigorously, and that's how they were creating this foamy nest. You can see between the two leaves they are making it, and here they have created a beautiful foam nest, and these white dots you see here is are the eggs of this Malabar gliding frog. So imagine it. This made me remind of the weaver ants, how they come together, bring all the leaves together and make that ball of leaves to form their nest. Even these frogs do the same thing. And it is very obvious that they're making this foam nest, but how do they stick these leaves together to make a womb kind of a shape of this of the nest? And after that, in the morning, over here, if you look, you will hardly find, I mean, from a distance, it's very difficult to find out these frogs, but they are somewhere there. But luckily, my eyes could catch this fellow over here. You see how similar, how light that green, I mean, the color has become. And over here, this is the one, and see, they close their eyes because that is also pretty beautiful out there, and they hide their feet because they have this flashy red color, and that's how they can well camouflaged with these surrounding. And let me tell you that how to being an opportunist. While noticing all this thing, I found this beautiful checkered killback, which was exactly into this. These are the twigs you see here. The snake was right there, because I mean, how they are connected. Sometimes, I mean, when you feel, you see the natural world, and you see that how do they know? I mean, how can this snake, they can't even see that way, or just the instinct works so strongly. So this checkered killback is resting on this log because it somehow know that when the tadpole will hatch from the egg, they will drop on the water and they will start feeding on the vegetation out there. And it's an easy meal for the snake because there will be so many falling, and it doesn't need to, and go in somewhere else to find food for them. But what a beautiful snake it is. Yeah. So with that, with the same area, I got this beautiful species, which is winged gliding frog. It also creates the foam nest, and its nest is more like a jelly kind of a thing what you see with the eggs in it. And of course it looks very beautiful, and they have two colors, one green and one brown. When they are very active they turn brown, and somewhere they're resting or trying to camouflage with the surrounding and with the green, they turn green in color, and that is also in few seconds. In one of the webinar we have done one with Payal I did, which is on like changing the colors. If you can watch that in our NatHub website, you will find that how the frogs or the other animals do change color within a click. I wish I could do that. Next comes to one of the another endemic species out there, which is called the Aucklandra reed frog. So this reed is called the Aucklandra. This reed is called Aucklandra, and they look like a bamboo, thin bamboo, like the stem and the leaves, but they are the reed. And this is the frog which stays out there. And interestingly, this Aucklandra frog is so tiny. It's just maybe around 30 millimeter, or little bigger than that. And this male tries to find out in that reed some holes made by some other insects or some squirrels. So there are borer insects, right, which just make a hole to lay their egg and for the feeding and stuff. So what these male do, they actually go inside. It's difficult. Like if there are some crevices or some gaps, it's fine. But they try to get even smaller holes. Somehow they go there and start calling. And also they go there in areas where they start calling and attract the mate, that I'm here, you can come here. I have already chosen nest of where we can lay the egg or keep our egg safely. They also notice, it has been noticed that when they are getting into some holes or crevices, they always see the internodes part. The top should be always covered. You know, the internode area of any bamboo, the top portion should be covered, but the bottom, it is not required. Maybe the water, if the water pours from above, you know, a lot of their eggs will get drowned. So maybe because of that reason, they have chosen this technique. So here it goes in. You can see the eggs are behind, and it has been seen that in that smaller crevices, the humidity remains pretty high, almost 100%, which is exactly required for the egg to hatch. And because these are some bush frogs, their egg doesn't go through that external metamorphosis what generally in frogs happen. So the whole frog develops inside the egg, and then they come out. And till the time, most of the time it has been seen the father, the male, is out there. And it also has been noticed that where there are the parenting is not there, the eggs are getting spoiled. So imagine, this is a new study what we come across, that even in case of frogs, they do the parenting part as well. Look at this, how beautiful this eye. I mean, so mesmerizing. There are a few more on the way, which you will feel amazing to see it. Here is called Anil's bush frog. It is endemic to that region, imagine, to that area itself. And yeah, this is again a bush frog. So their egg again developed, the frog developed inside the egg. They don't come out as tadpole, and mostly they live in shrubs, and they lay egg in the rock, in the crevices of the rock, in the shrubby areas, in all this. I couldn't do actually the proper justice to the picture, but it has beautiful patterns on it, and it's also very tiny. And here is one of my favorite, I mean, it became favorite this time. I have seen a lot of this in this genus, I have seen many frogs, but this is the first time I have come across the tadpole. And you know that what is the specification or the speciality of this tadpole? These are terrestrial tadpoles. I mean, you know, tadpoles, they do live in water, right? But these tadpoles actually climb. That's the reason why maybe they have a pretty long tail. And again, I couldn't do justice, but with the naked eye, I could say these white ones, what you see, they actually are shimmering blue in color, very vibrant blue in color. And this is only the hind leg has formed. The forelimb are yet to emerge from the body, and this is how the adults look like. But they have a very strong jaw. Generally, most of the tadpoles do, but they actually keep on climbing on the rock. And there were few clutches when I went close. They were actually holding the rock, and the moss, very fine moss on the rock which has formed, they were feeding on it, just like how we see a cow munching on the vegetation. Their jaws were exactly moving like that. Oh wow, what a sighting that is. I mean, still I'm feeling like, you know, just I'm looking at it. I mean, I'm leaving that moment. It was so beautiful to see this tiny tadpoles to that kind of a behavior. And here comes the bicolored frog. Bicolor is because of the color how it has. But I think the most, for me, when I see the frog, I just completely love its eyes. Look at this. I mean, it has the beautiful reddish eye out here. I think which is more um, it can be a very significant character of this frog. Like you can quickly identify that this is the one which we have in Western Ghats, and it's incredibly beautiful frog. And they all live in the grassland, reeds, shrubs, in the high, even in some high temperatures. And here, while going through that, I came across this beautiful snail. It's called Indrela, and this is also endemic to I mean, into the Western Ghat. And they can be of different colors, like mainly three different colors. You have this red one, which is more colorful, but I love this yellow because you know, when you have this beautiful green background and you have this vibrant yellow color, and you know, they are the only genus and they have these only species. So it is like a monotypic genus snail, and it's also air breathing snail. How fascinating that is. And the little ones, the younger snails, resembles or very much like this wood color, because they cannot be more brightly colored. Soon there would be a lot of predators, so maybe that's the reason why the little ones looks like that. But when they grow up, oh god, they look so stunning. They are really stunning. And yeah, no poison, nothing, of course. But in that green thing, this yellow color, I think that makes you really, really happy to look at. And then comes the cicadas. Of course, it's a very prominent species in any of the tropical forest, and of course, it's a tropical rainforest. So there are numerous number of cicadas, and it's so lucky to see because they come out only you can hear them. But thankfully, at night, when I got to see the cicada emerging from that, this is the exoskeleton of it, they are coming out. It was it itself. I wish I could use some videos out here, but unfortunately the videos get stuck, so I couldn't. But it's incredible, so much time and so much patience they have. And when they come out, this is not the color of the cicada. So after a few hours, they gradually turns into brown or the darker color with different like pigments of different green or blue or yellow in color. But initially they look like a fairy, their wings look like fairy. And yeah, it's beautiful. And once they come out, they don't start calling at that point of time. You can see the exoskeleton, it's still attached, it's still, the body is still there a bit. So after maybe a few hours, when they turn into that brown beautiful color, then they start, calling. And then next comes one of my favorite species of any viper. I love vipers. So this is called the Malabar pit viper, and it has been seen that almost there are 13 morphs, I mean color morph of Malabar pit vipers, and the female grow generally bigger than the male. The male are sometimes tiny. I could remember I mean in 2018 when I went, I found there is a big female, which will be almost not even bigger than 3 to 3.5 3 feet, even not even 3 feet. It would be 2 feet a female, and the male was almost a feet, and it was thin, and it was trying to copulate with the female. I was just looking at this and seriously, this is how it happens. But yeah, the female was very patient, and somehow maybe the female felt that this is a perfect, like the right male to mate with. So she was pretty okay with his presence, and that little one was climbing on her back, which you will feel like a baby climbing on a mother's back. But it was fun to watch. So this is a peach morph out here, and then comes to this reddish morph. This fellow was pretty agile. Generally pit vipers have so much of patience. They don't move much. Or maybe I got very excited, so maybe my body was getting warmer, and it was very agile that time when I took the picture. But somehow of course, I always maintain a safe distance. So that's how this is more the reddish morph. And let me tell you, and it's so difficult to spot them. Wherever they are, they kind of really camouflage well with the surroundings. This is the most common morph we come across, which is more greenish in color. But while telling this, let me tell you, even notice this prehensile tail of the pit viper. They actually can cling with any of the stain, and their whole body can hang from any of the area, from any of the surface, just by the strength of the tail, how they holds the vegetation out there. It looks grumpy, but trust me, it's beautiful. I mean, I just can't express through my words that how do I feel when I see the pit vipers. And here is another, the olive brown morph. And of course, all the pit vipers you can notice is this triangular head they would have. And yeah, this is how it fed something. So you can see the belly part out here. It's pretty fat enough than the rest of the body. So after this pit viper, there is another one called the vine snake. The vine is called because of their slender body and the way they get entangled in the vines. It's very difficult to find out that which is the snake and which is the stem of the vine, and that's how they get blend in the surroundings, and very easier for them to catch lizards, frogs, birds, even I mean, can you imagine they catch up some small birds, the bird came to perch and it got it. But it's very fast, otherwise you will see them, this is like always at the same place, it's hanging, and once they start slithering, it's beautiful to see, especially at night. When you see them, the ventral part of the body is very lightish in color. It's a very vibrant or the bamboo, or I would say olive green, but a very fluorescent kind of a green color they have. So whenever there is a flashlight or anything is falling on them, that actually shines beautifully. That's how actually you can make out that there is a snake at night. But in the morning, it is very difficult to find. And here is another type of species, which is called cat snake. So they got this name cat snake because of their large bulgy eye with a a vertical slit, just like the cat's eye. And they have a very slim and trim body, and you can see how they keep on, like, wait for their prey to come, and they can actually come up to a pretty good distance, but generally they are not very big. And this is let me tell you another thing. So this snake also know that they find a lot of frogs out here. So this is one of the Aucklandra reed. See how it looks like. So they are here. So most of the time when these reed frogs lay their egg or stay there, these are the snakes which comes there to feed on the tadpoles or sorry on the frog egg or the frog itself. Here comes so from there, from Wayanad, I traveled to another place which is in the southern part of Kerala, which is called Munnar. It is a hill station, but no matter in the hill station, we go and actually we have the highest peak in Western Ghat and the second highest peak as well. So they are the frog which lives more close to the streams as well. And look at this. It's the Latin name is called Catizylus astrops and the star-eyed cat frog. Now you know, you remember I told that the eyes, they are stunning. Look at these eyes. So astrops, I think the name is so suitable to all these species of frogs. And imagine the color of the lichen on the stain and the blotches on its body with these colors out here is just outstanding. So this frog and another frog was in my list that I have to see it, because the way things are going, I don't know how long they will be able to survive in this kind of conditions, or how the weather is changing. So this is how the Ghatizyla Sastra. Let me tell you one story. In 2018, when I went to search for this frog, somehow there was a landslide and these things happened. There was a huge like flood happens in Munnar region, and we couldn't go there. So I was like, maybe I was thinking about Ghatizylas, and I suddenly woke up and told my friend, why? So there is no any other place like habitat where we can find Ghatizylas. So that person just looked at me and said, what? And I slept again. So I don't know what happened. So they still make fun of me. So after seeing this Ghatizylas, they say, I hope you're not dreaming anymore about this frog. But it was really amazing. And then this is another fellow, which is Rochester's signatus. Even see, I just get this one. Look at this one. I mean, they are amazingly so beautiful, so colorful, and so vibrant that it's actually all your mind. Next comes to the this is why I'm telling you, apart from, I need to explain you this area and of course my journey, because that is, I think, one of the best thing I did in this monsoon. And I will never ever forget this trip of Western Ghat. This is, we were heading towards the second highest peak of Western Ghat, which is called Misa Pulimala. Misa Pulimala is, and while going there, you can see there are a lot of like tea plantation, go through the tea estates, and we were almost reaching one of the highest, which is around 2,690 meter approx. And while moving, it was raining and raining and raining. But this is how we met few women out there who were working in the tea estate, and I don't know how they were like working in that hard rain, and there was so much wind. Trust me, I mean, I was shivering even while sitting in a 4x4 jeep. Oh, apart from 4x4 jeep, you can't go in that kind of an area. So while going, one thing I really liked about this place is they have different color bags for different garbage system. Like this is the, I think, a beautiful waste management system they are following in this whole region, which I really appreciate, and people are following that. So something really make you happy that yes, things are happening. So after that, because I have taken the picture from the vehicle, so you can imagine that there is almost no road. You know, there are like lands are sliding, there is waterway happening, and you can see the rain. I mean, it's so difficult to see what is there in front. And after that, They were like 10. We were counting. There were 10 trees which fell down on the road, and thankfully my friend and my guide out there and the driver out, they have helped us out to go through that area. So they have been going down and cutting down the trees. I went, but I really could not help much apart from one place where there was a huge tree fell down. So this is, imagine this big tree trunk we had to cut down, and I just need to climb on it so that it can break. So it needed a heavyweight person on that. That time only I could go down and do it. And while going, we have come across this beautiful mushroom out here. I am forgetting the name of the mushroom right now. But this is how the road and these things are, and these are the clouds out there. And this is where we have reached. After, I mean, at one point I was saying hardly that my friend and my guide out here, so I was telling hardly, are you sure? I mean, you don't have to take the risk to get me there, because the safety comes first. He said it's okay, this is very normal, but it's only like it's raining so hard, because at one point I felt that okay, even if it is 4x4, we can go back. I can try maybe next year. But thanks to him, he kept up the keep up the courage, and of course the enthusiasm. And he was seeing on my face that I was was not really liking it, because I thought that I'm going to miss that frog, like seeing it. So he said, don't worry, it's fine, it will be fine. So somehow we reached. This is called the chrysopogon grass clumps. So these are huge grass, you can see almost above the knee, the length got. And here in this habitat, imagine a frog which is in that height, in cold, like it's so windy and it's raining. The raindrops were piercing our skin. It seems like thousands of needles are falling on your face and your hand. And at one point, my fingers stopped almost working, maybe because of the water and the wind and the rain. My fingers seems like they're not working. I couldn't even click the shutter or this. In this condition, we find one of the world rarest frog. So the search was on, and it was very difficult to see even because of the mist. And the first while, you have to push all the grass and you have to look for the frog inside the grass. Only you can hear them like this is how the call is. And even if you think that the call is coming from here, but it would be somewhere from somewhere else, and because of the rain we could not even concentrate on one particular area. So we kept on moving, and because it was raining and the windy, it happens that the frogs don't call that time. So it was very tricky, very difficult, but we kept on moving the grass and seeing it. Luckily we found a few egg clutch, and this is the newly laid egg. You can see the embryo out here with this beautiful transparent egg out here, and in the next and in few more we have found even the formation of, you can see the eye, the body is forming out here. And even seeing that, I think I was like super happy. I told that okay, fine, I'm happy. I mean, even if I could see it, I don't know, still I don't know that whether I'll be able to see that the rarest frog in the world. And but seeing this was amazing. But even after a few search, and maybe I was super happy, and Mother Nature got really feel pity about me, that even this thing's making me happy, so why not to give me the best thing what I came for. And then I found this beautiful resplendent bush frog. Look at the color. They grow up to 20 to 23 millimeter of size. So imagine, it's just like almost the nail of size of the nail, or just even not even the full thumb they will cover. And it was beautiful. It is known for its short limbs and the crawling behavior. They don't hop, they keep on crawling and live on these reeds and areas. And look at this huge fat deposition or the muscular part of the area. It's looking, this particular hand looked like the Popeye, Popeye the Sailor Man. Yeah, Popeye hand after the spinach, his hand goes, bulgy at one certain points, and it was crawling out there, and it was such a bliss to see it. Thankfully, I could able to capture few of the picture, and not only one individual I got. In one place I got 3 individuals, and also something in one clutch we got to see there are 3 frogs, and there is a clutch out there, without of course not disturbing. So of course this is how the picture is. Just once we saw the frog and the egg, we moved it back, but we got more than 5 individuals out there in that area. And my friend was telling me, Arpita, this is really amazing, because most of the time it's very difficult to get one individual to take picture or documenting that, and we got so many. This was incredible, and that made me more happy. And yes, so this resplendent, this clams and this thing, I mean, while seeing this, one thing which actually stuck in my mind, because first of all, this is a critically endangered species, and the next is it is only regionally described. I mean, it is not found in any other place of excluding that particular area, which needs, it's a high temperature, like in a higher elevation frogs, which needs very colder temperature. And due to global warming, imagine we can, because it's a smaller area, we can easily lose this frog, and it will be very, very disappointing that because of whatever human activities are happening, because of that we are losing this incredible species. I mean, if any day, if you come over, once you get to see the habitat and the frog, then you would realize why I'm saying all this thing. And because due to the global warming, the temperature is rising, and at the same time, this is a grassland area. So imagine if there are forest fires, and in the dry time, this whole population would just vanish from that area. And imagine this tiny little fellow. I mean, there's nowhere else to go. Just like us, we don't have a planet B. So yeah, but with that happy feeling, I can definitely say that yes. Uh, so here is a calatus, like a large-scale forest lizard. It kept on like roosting at the same place for a few days, I saw. And this is another Elliot's. Look at the beautiful color patterns of these lizards. Here is the Draco, not the Dracula, but it's called a Draco because it's the flying lizard as well. It flattens its belly skin, and it can actually fly from one or glide rather from the top of to other areas. And this yellow thing is to attract the insects. It's more like a flowery thing, so attract the insects at the same time, to attract the female and also show the other male that I am, how beautiful I am. So yes, this is one of my favorite lizards. And here is a beautiful blue-tailed skink. This is the elephant cow dung. Yeah, while we were walking, there were many wild elephants. Talking about the elephants, here they are. And yes, it's great to see them in those grasslands and living in the wild. It's beautiful. And southern India has one of the in few areas the congregation of a lot of elephants. From different areas. They sometime of the year they come together, and there is a huge population. What you can see, but still their population is declining because of habitat loss and monotypic cultivations. Here is the Nilgiri Thar. It's a mountain goat, which is again endemic to that area. Here is a line-tailed macaque. Let me tell you, this is another endangered species, endemic to that area. It's very much like prominent thing is the beard. It's a white mane. They have the silver and a very amber finish eye, and the tail is little bushy, like the end of the tail is little bushy like a lion. That's how it's got its name. They live in a troop, and the male is, of course, the dominant male lead the group, which has many females and infants, I mean smaller ones. And yeah, you'll get to see in very particular areas, and they, some, because of the deforestation and stuff, they are more arboreal, but sometimes they come down on the ground for foraging, and they have to cross the road, and that's where they get hit and run by the vehicles. So there are many NGOs who are working. They are making like bridges from one tree to another tree so that they can pass from there. And here is called the bonnet macaque. Of the same, we have the rhesus macaque. So the southern part, we have this bonnet macaque, which is again endemic to that region. This is called the Nilgiri langur, again endemic to that region. You won't see it anywhere else in the world. It's almost look like the lion-tailed macaque, but with a lesser formation of the hair and with a long tail. Also, these are like high arboreal langurs, and also live in the depth of the vegetation. You don't see them coming out much. And here is one of my favorite from the subspecies of the gray langur, is the tufted gray langur. Look at this beautiful small mound in everybody's head. I somehow really like it, and look at it, how it's sitting and observing the thing. And here is another special species we have come across, I mean, I have come across, is the Indian porcupine. It was just, thankfully, I could manage only one picture, but in that Wayanad area, I got to see a little one. I don't know how it came out, but it was pretty small. It was walking through that path what we have seen in that CGH property. I got to see it, one baby, but here I got to see this big one. And here comes the Malabar giant squirrel, or the Indian giant squirrel. It has many subspecies, and yeah, it is pretty big, and they build nest just like the birds. And when they give a call, like a very chattering sound, for which you can actually think that it's something, some of a machine is calling, but yeah, of course, it's the giant, the giant squirrel. And here, once I'm done with the place, and this is the road, thankfully, the road, I got a road after the resplendent travel. And this area, like when you go through, when you see the mountain, actually this is the place where you can be lost. Not lost means nobody will be able to find you, but lost means you can actually lose all your tensions, your mind, just you get lost in the green. I think that's where we get the freshness, we get the energy. It can boost you every time. I mean, there is no one point where you'll feel, oh gosh, I'm tired, or okay, this is what we are seeing everywhere. No, it's every time it gives you so much of pleasure. And this is while coming down to the plain land called Kochi, which is another, has a sea beach, but we have to come down from to the plain to go to our next destination, which I'm going to come in the next day presentation, next day webinar, which is on 28th of July. And that I'm going to do with Conan, another expedition leader, because we both went at the same place, but we didn't meet each other. But we are trying to combine the thing together and bring this beautiful, like monsoon creatures and the monsoon time of India. And that's how it is. And I hope you have enjoyed, and someday I'll see some of you over here to explore this beautiful tropical rainforest with us. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much, Rob, and I'm ready to take up any question.
All right, thank you, Arpita. Before we start the question and answers, I'd like to remind everyone that you can submit your question via the question field in your control panel. Okie dokie, so can you tell us, with all that rain, how the heck do you take such amazing photographs? What is your secrets? What is your trick?
Umbrella.
That's it, just an umbrella.
Just an umbrella, which I lost.
Got it. Good to know. Very good. Uh, so, what is a good way to avoid snakes while walking through the rainforest?
So the thing is, especially in the rainforest, the path you are going through, that should be, there should be a area where you're walking. So exactly on that area, there won't be any snakes because that there will be having movement. But beside of it, but keep your eyes open that there it is. And I mean, generally we always wear gum boots, which is up to the knee. So, and it is very thick. So even if they're on the ground, it's very difficult to, I mean, which has like pit vipers and stuff, they have their huge fangs, so it cannot pierce those area. Always carry a flashlight and a stick with you, not to, I mean, not to hurt the snake, but to, while you are moving, just to keep a little, uh, just keeping touching here and there before you step in, so that you know that there are no other movements apart from your feet.
Is the Malabacarus pit viper venomous?
Oh yes, yes, that is Malabar pit viper. Yes, all
Thank you.
all the vipers, all the viper. I mean, in the Viperidae family, all the snakes have venom.
Aha, good to know. I guess that's why we need to avoid them. Um, so, how is it that you're able to spot all these tiny little frogs? Do you have a local guide, or is there some trick that you know?
So local guide, yes, local guide in the sense it's mostly our friends out there. But whenever even I was walking alone at night, especially all this thing happens. So the call of the frog, like exactly where it is coming. So you keep on moving that side, but when you come close, they stop calling. Then you just switch off your flashlight, wait again patiently, and when they again start calling, you switch on your light. So you have to understand that where exactly the call is coming from. And of course, which helps to have like friends or people out there, is like to know the exact location of that specific species of frog. If they know the location, then you can find it very easily, because as I was telling that they have even endemism to those restricted area as well, not even throughout the Western Ghat.
So, how has climate change so far affected the frog populations in India?
So I would say that it has, because we have actually lost few species of frogs already, and amphibians, even turtles. These are the ones Sicilian. Sicilian, I mean that also in amphibian. Turtles, these are some creatures which are getting affected by like climate change. Even in the northeastern side, as well as in this area of the forest. Imagine, these are rainforest. They get high humidity, always like green everywhere. Through the normal eye, you hardly come across, but when we get to know that this species are no longer seen in that area, then you know that after 50, 60 years or 70 years, I mean, almost after 80 years, it's thought to be extinct from that area. So this is how happening. Already we have lost quite a few species from these areas.
Arpita, that's the last question that we will have time for today. So I'd like to hand it back to you for any closing comments you might have.
Okay, thank you so much, Rob, and thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for asking me beautiful questions. I hope you enjoyed and get to know a lot more, beautiful creatures we are surrounded with, and I just loved it to share with you all. Thank you so much. Have a great day. See you next time.
Thank you so much for taking the time to present for us today. And I'd also like to thank everyone who tuned in today. If you're interested in information on how you can travel with NatHab, give us a call at the number on your screen or send us an email at info@nathab.com. Our adventure specialists are happy to help you out. Join us tomorrow for our next Daily Dose of Nature. You can check out this week's lineup, including registration links, on our website at nathab.com/webinars. We did record today's presentation, and we will have the replay available on our website soon. With that, I will conclude the webinar. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.